fury fades, the razor teeth are still beneath the lotus shade, a destiny fulfilled. Two shadows weave a tapestry of grace, emerald scales ignite in the moon's cold embrace. A bride from the currents, shimmering and bright like a fallen star, breaking through the night. Circling the fortress, built of silver breath, a vow of the living in the face of death, binding their spirits where the waters run deep, a promise of life that the silent will keep. Oh, emerald dance, the wedding of the brave, flaring fins to the heavens, rising from the wave, love beyond time in a world made of steel. The guardian soul is the only thing real, protecting the nest with a warrior's might. The legend lives on through the emerald light. From foes in the tempest to lovers in the stream, casting off the pride to chase a golden dream, swaying with the tide as the currents start to flow, shielding every border from the shadows below, writing their names in a heart true and bold, a story of loyalty that's yet to be told. Though the storms may gather and the unseen dangers creep, the Father stands a fortress while the world is fast asleep, waiting for the young ones to wake and claim the throne in this nest of devotion. They are never alone. Our lineage is iron, our spirit is fire, rising from the depths, ever higher and higher. Oh, emerald dance, the wedding of the brave, flaring fins to the heavens, rising from the wave, love beyond time in a world made of steel. The guardian soul is the only thing real, protecting the nest with a warrior's might. The legend lives on through the emerald light. The emerald dance fades into the calm, but the mission has started beneath the water's balm. Sleep now, my darlings, I'll watch through the haze until my last breath in the emerald blaze. Slow fade within fear us. constructing a city from the fragments of my breath. Sphere by sphere, I defy the shadows of death. Woven with silver thread on a surface thin and frail. But this is a fortress that no storm can assail. For the lives yet to wake, for the eyes yet to see, I'll never stop breathing. This is my decree. Glassy eyes are piercing through the hollow dark. Fins flared wide like a glowing neon spark. Let the giants come, let the monsters draw near. As long as I stand, there is no room for fear. This is the bubble-nest bastion, a fortress of my soul, carved from the struggle to keep the spirit whole. Every pearl is a heartbeat, I'll never drift away, though my body grows weary and the hunger starts to pray. In this kingdom of bubbles, under the rusted steel, I am the shield, the only truth you'll feel. The midnight gale is howling, the currents start to shake. I tighten the borders for what's at stake, catching the falling stars as the bubbles start to burst, mending the broken cradle through the hunger and the thirst. Patient in the solitude while the vortex spins around. I am the anchor to which your lives are bound. Sleep now, little one, in the cradle that I made. The world outside is cruel, but here you're in the shade. Though the air is running thin and my strength begins to fade, I'll spread my wings of iron till you swim unafraid. Of a tiny tail, my duty is fading, but this love will never fail. The bubble-nest bastion remains beneath the tide, the ghost of a father with nothing left to hide. the light, waiting for the greatest foe to meet me in the night. Suddenly the surface breaks, the ripples start to fly. A phantom shape emerges slow beneath the neon sky. Fins flare wide in a dance of war, a barrier of fate. Darkened eyes are staring back, where's our soul-consuming hate? This is the mirror of death, reflection of the fire. The shadow of the fury in a world of rusted wire. The more I strike the image, the more I fall apart. Fighting a ghost when the void is in my heart. The blood that starts to boil is the tear I cannot shed. In the mirror of the living, I am fighting with the dead. Hills of lead in a frantic beat, the rhythm of the soul, lashing out at a minute ghost who takes a heavy toll. Aggression is the only tongue, the only word I speak, but every blow I land on him makes my own body weak. It's not a beast from distant ties or a monster from the deep. It's the dark side of my nature that I can no longer keep. The hatred reflecting back at me in a jagged silver frame. A hollow imitation, that's my foreign. shadows rising high, blotting out the sun. The cradle of the riverbed, forever now undone. Fields of emerald glory turn to catacombs of gray. The final breath is buried deep, where spirits fade away. Steel ribs pierce the earth like daggers in the mud. Progress built on sacrifice and cold, unfeeling blood. The final cry is echoing from fins that used to flare. In a world that used to nurture, now there's only cold despair. Waiting for the embers of a life to burn out fast in the silence of the city where the shadows are cast. This is the concrete tomb where every dream is drowned. A warrior with no kingdom on this hollow frozen ground. The tragedy of progress, marching on without a soul, leaving only wreckage as the city takes its toll. Tomb, the tomb. The tomb, the tomb. The colors once so vibrant are bleeding into white. Glistening scales are choked in oil and blinded by the night. Nowhere left to hide away, no place for life to bloom. In a world of corporate greed inside this liquid room. Is this how we measure the value of the breath? Trading every heartbeat for a monument of death. Crush it down! Fill the void! Build upon the grave of nature. Greed is expanding till there's no room to breathe. Until the poison rises from the chaos we see. This is the concrete tomb where every dream is drowned. A warrior with no kingdom on this hollow frozen ground. The tragedy of progress, marching on without a soul, leaving only silence and the bell that will not toll. The current stops its beating. The final eyes are closed amidst the screams of nature that the concrete has composed. Flickering neon lights, as silence covers the murder. Deep in the night, through noble phantoms with fins like banners of war. Locked in a square of glass, with no exit door. Staring through the stillness, shadows of death collide. No room for the loser, no place for the weak to hide. Wagering every breath on a palm-sized battleground, where the only law is steel and no mercy can be found. This is the clash of kings, where only one survives, trading broken scales for the ending of our lives. In this crystal dungeon, death is the highest crown. Will I take your spirit, or will you strike me down? For the taste of glory, I'll give my final beat. Lunging like a poison shaft, tearing the liquid veil. Crimson meets the azure blue, through the storm and gale. The crystal water turns to mud, a swirling haze of hate. Broken but unyielding, I'll fight and meet my fate. Tear them down, crush their pride, let the ruin rise. Honor screams inside me, a fire in my eyes. No brothers in this current, your friends within the flow. Only the enemy that I must lay below. This is the clash of kings, where only one survives, trading broken scales for the ending of our lives. In this crystal dungeon, death is the highest crown. Will I take your spirit, or will you strike me down? For the taste of glory, I'll give my final beat. The water turns to glass, the rhythm starts to slow. One body rises high while the other sinks below. A lonely victory in a cage with no way out. The king stands all alone in the silence of the shout. inside, built to be broken, with nowhere left to hide. As the surface turns to hell, a burning human fire, our only escape is the deep within this dark empire. Genetic codes are twisting, a cybernetic strain, electric circuits fused with scales to bury all the pain. From the broken cyborg shot, a new life now begins in the sunless ocean depths where the silence never ends. Dancing in the currents with the neon skulls, lashing out with the rainbow tails through the electric gales. The final illusion for the will to still survive. From the battlefield to the throne, we are the ones alive. The beautiful assassin in a form of fighting grace. Your destruction is the dawn of our entire race. Razor fins of hardened steel, a blade within the flow. Sensor eyes are piercing through the shadows and the glow. Mechanical gills are filtering the poison and the hate, turning your toxic legacy to fuel our very state. You destroyed our world of green, a desolate barren sea. From this moment on, this kingdom belongs to me. The flesh and blood remaining is now a distant dream, replaced by silicon chips and a synthetic glowing beam. We are not just the human, nor just the cold machine. We are the perfect species, the most lethal ever seen. Evolve from the ashes of your own hateful scene. Dancing in the currents with the neon skulls, lashing out with the rainbow tails through the electric gales. The final illusion for the will to still survive. From the battlefield to the throne, we are the ones alive. The beautiful assassin in a form of fighting grace. Your destruction is the dawn of our entire race. Fall from the ashes of your own hateful scene. Dancing in the currents with the neon skies, lashing out with rainbow tails through the electric gales. The final illusion for the will to still survive. From the battlefield to the throne, we are the ones alive. The beautiful assassin in a form of fighting grace. Your destruction silence of the deep. For the neon schools are waiting while you are fast asleep, waiting for the moment to rise and to reclaim. Amidst the ash and embers, the faded broken light, the valiant iron spirit has vanished in the night, leaving footprints on the battlefield where the echo still remains. The fight could not be tethered by the rust and the chains. The body is returning to the dust and to the floor. Silent shore, we salute the fallen spirit, the soul that's taken flight, who gave it all for glory and the belief in what is right. Though the law has claimed the body and the metal is undone, the name will live forever beneath the eternal sun. Through every tide and torrent, through the cruel and open field, you were the ultimate warrior who would never ever yield. Even in the final moment, as the power started to fail, you held your head up high and you finished the time to rest where the currents are stilled. We bid farewell to the champion a destiny fulfilled. Thank you for the color and the fierce unyielding soul. Sleep now, my beautiful warrior. You are home. Beneath the flow are flickering to last. A silence fills the heavy air where the roar of war has ceased. The final rain is giving birth to a new forbidden beast. In the ocean without borders, in the limitless and deep, the sovereign is rising from the silence of the sleep. Glistening in the armor of a reinforced embrace, a cybernetic fire is burning in this place. Through the ruins of a species that is now a distant sound, this is the end. Oh, and the beginning of a world that we have found. The emerald scales are glistening against the purple beam. Genetic codes are twisting with a synthetic holy steam. No concept of the failure in the nuclear fuel blood. A perfect new dominion rising from the mud. The rulers of the water in a world that's turned to ash, leaving all your legacy to wither in the crash. A symphony of bubbles are breathing out the code. A dance beneath the tempest on this new and silver road. From the fighters in the glass bowl to the kings of all the sea. When the land is lost forever, this is where we shall be. This is our home. has stopped its beating, a silence in the blue, a flicker in the darkness is watching me and you. Steel fins are flowing softly in the current and the light. Their world, a world of water that the rain is built with.